Hi, I'm Gary Dimlet. Thanks for viewing my latest video describing aspects of Serena Software's Dimensions CM product. This Dimlet will discuss the issues surrounding the moving from PVCS Version Manager to Dimensions Express. Now, Dimensions Express will work out of the box. However, if you assume the Serena default settings, you're likely going to miss out on the ability to take advantage of a lot of Dimensions' extensive control of your data. Also, some decisions made early in the use of Dimensions become very difficult, if not impossible, to alter after use. This Dimlet is designed to give you enough of a knowledge of Dimensions Express so you can better prepare your organization for such a move. Thanks again for watching, and let's get started. Given the relatively short amount of time we have in this video, about all I can do is give you a brief overview of what you're moving to and suggestions as to how to make this move easy and advantageous to your organization. But still, it's just an overview. Some knowledge of Version Manager would be nice, but not required. It is further assumed that this is your first view of Dimensions. But the more you know of these products, the more you may get out of this Dimlet. The most important piece of information that I can give you is this. Do not perform the installation and conversion before preparing. Read the Serena documentation in advance. Plan how you're going to set up Dimensions Express to meet your needs. You can certainly assume some of the Serena default settings, but likely you're not going to pick all. The more defaults you use, the more you're going to miss out on a lot of powerful features in Dimensions Express. Also, since Serena Professional Services will be working with you in the data conversion process, little is mentioned here. I am assuming such conversion has been done, and you're about to bring these files into Dimensions. The main thrust of this Dimlet is to explain how to set up the Dimensions architecture and set it up to meet your firm's needs. The process can be thought of as being in three phases. First, we understand and define the Dimensions environment prior to bringing in your data. Second, we bring in your data into Dimensions. And third, we set up your processes and normal community profiles. Let's look at the first phase, understanding and controlling the Dimensions Express architecture. You will read in the earlier reference documentation that Dimensions Express supports Oracle and Microsoft SQL Server. The versions here are those that are supported at the time of this Dimlet, but please check with Serena to verify. Terminology will change. Your files will be called items because in the CM world we talk about configuration items. And also, your files may not be files, but could represent other objects such as hardware. The items, when they come into Dimensions Express, will be stored on the file system at a location you choose, which is called the item library. The data about those items, or the metadata, will be stored in the relational database. Now, let's take this architecture and see what happens when we import one file from the outside world. This file is called foo.c and is in the directory shown on the slide. Inside the database's instance, we have something called a base database, here named Express, represented by the large oval. Inside of that, we have one or more products. Here we have two, insurance and generic. The latter is used for admin purposes and will not be discussed here. Inside a product, we have one or more projects. Here we have two, trunk and branch. Their uses are varied and include parallel and concurrent programming. We also have a design part structure shown in the aqua colored blocks. They represent a functional breakdown of the insurance product. Here we see that that product has two significant areas, quotation and underwriter. Before you actually bring in files to be items, you should look at how these items will be treated once they come into Dimensions. This means defining your processes. Items will be assigned a particular item type. That type will assign a particular life cycle that will determine that item's process. Also, who can access that item, as well as a lot of other options based on those item type settings, which we will see momentarily. We're going to look at the upload rules based on the file extensions. Remember our foo.c and see how it comes in. It's going to determine the item type that file will be assigned. These rules are set in the Dimensions admin tool, which is called the administration or admin console. Here we see that admin console looking just at the upload rules for the Express-based database. You can see that files that end in .c will come in with the item type of SRC or source and the data format of C. We don't have time to really explain format in here. Let's see what a life cycle is. Each item type must have a single life cycle. That life cycle determines how that item is handled and who handles it. Here we see the life cycle LC_items that is assigned to the SRC item and hence to our foo.c. The normal path, that process that assumes nothing goes wrong, is in the top area in green flowing from left to right. The off-normal path, used when there are problems, is shown in the lower area in red. The initial state development is shown. You can see there are two choices one can go to from that state. The normal path is the system test, and the off-normal is rejected. If you look at the table below the image, you can see that the user role for that state is developer. That means that those users who have been assigned that role can access that item at that time, and only at that time, and can move it or action it to the next state. No one else can. Here we show the next state system test. The users who have the role QA developer can access the item when it is in this state and can action it to the other states. The developer can no longer access this item. The final phase is the setting up of your user community, meaning the user accounts, group accounts, privileges, roles, etc. We saw where we need to have roles in our life cycles. The roles in the life cycle states determine who can work on that item when it is at a specific life cycle state. The migration tool will bring across your users in groups, but not role definitions, role assignments, or permissions. We can set up permissions and privileges at both user and group levels. We can also control what portions of Dimensions Express we allow users to see by controlling a user or group's view of the tool. Our users are listed on the left. We're looking inside the admin console at the users and groups area, and the details for the users are listed on the right. Here are our role definitions listed on the left, and again a description on the right. Here we see the role assignments tab, and we've selected on the left a particular user named Norman. We see on the right that Norman has been assigned the role of developer for the insurance product. Here are the privileges that we could assign to Norman, and it's just a partial screenshot, and you can see there's a lot of control that we have. Now, if you don't want to take all the defaults, this is the image file that's cited in the PDF file and shows what you will and will not be converted to Dimensions Express. When you read the reference documentation, you will see what is going to be brought in and not imported. Now this slide should make more sense, but we also know there is more to the setup. You will have to modify Dimensions Express to make it fit your particular environment and process. This is where I may be of service. Here's my one and only marketing slide. I can help you with this definition and setup, either before or after your installation. Changes can be made to your system. But as a warning, there are things in Dimensions that can't easily be changed once you start using the tool. The longer you use the tool, the less likely it will be that some options can be modified. My goal isn't to come in and do the work and leave. My goal is to teach you how to make the decisions necessary for your organization and then show you how to set up and maintain those settings. When I leave, the knowledge stays with you. Please contact me if you're interested at either the web address or my email address. And I thank you very, very much.